fresh snow coming tomorrow, and this snowmobile is going to be our only way in and out of the property. So we're going to go ahead and top it off with some fresh fuel, change the plugs over, and give it a good look over, and maybe a little test run. Hey, there's a bottle of AMS oil in the cabin. Could you get it, please?
So tonight, while we wait for the snow to get here, we're going to make a moose roast. It is cold outside. The snow is definitely on its way. I figured it was a great day to do this moose roast for dinner. So we're super excited to eat this. We do it in our Dutch oven. I start by browning the roast on all sides and a little bit of our tallow. And then I throw in some veggies, some nice root veggies, a little bit of stock, and I cook that at 250 for a few hours until it's tender. So we were very generously gifted a new light fixture. So Dennis went ahead and took out the old cistern, water hold cistern that was up in the loft in there and replaced it with a light. We plan on hooking our well directly up to the house, so we don't have to pump water into the tank and just have, you know, a holding tank there. The holding tanks are very common in Alaska. We are lucky enough to have a good spring-fed well on the property. It's not the case with a lot of places at a lot of properties in the state. Water is notoriously bad, or not the best, I should say. And the wells usually run pretty deep, which can get pretty expensive. So you'll see a lot of people with holding tanks, and they'll either haul water from a public water fill up, or they'll go to a creek or a river, or have a rain catch too. That's another option that you'll see often.
There we go.
Here you go.
It's got fire. Oh.
Can you stack this stuff on the porch?
Yes.
Watch out for nails with your bare feet. Daddy does not want to get lit up like a Christmas tree. Daddy would prefer if no one electrocutes me today. That's the ground, and then that. Kind of hold that. There you go. Here. Looks a lot better.
Just gonna have a nice easy Sunday. We got a moose roast going in the oven. We're gonna take a little walk around the property and just kind of enjoy it before the snow flies here. Maybe do a little project of a wood box for the side of the wood stove.
pumpkin spice.
A lot of birch trees to tap.
She hides it places.
Yeah.
Go get that turkey! Mama, can we go berry picking on here?
Some frozen blueberries here. They're delicious.
That's super sweet.
Daddy, taste that?
Wow. They're better. They're like candy.
They're actually better once they're frozen.
Look around. Let's see how to get that.
Okay, so we're gonna whip up some chai spiced sourdough pumpkin cinnamon rolls. So first step with anything sourdough is you want an active starter. This is not incredibly active. You'll see there's not many bubbles on it. I did yesterday night before I went to bed is I took some of this starter, I dumped it in a bowl and I fed it. So I added water and flour and I mixed it around till it's like a really, really thick pancake batter. Let it sit out and get a little more active. You'll see it's kind of dry on the top there, but all those stretchy bubbles there, that's what you want when you move it around. What you're gonna do is you're gonna add a little water. And you're gonna add maybe a couple tablespoons of salt. Pumpkin puree in with the water. Maybe like half the can. Flour. I don't really measure the flour, but this is a 1/3 cup measure. And you're just gonna mix this until a shaggy dough forms. So the next step for these chai spiced sourdough pumpkin cinnamon rolls, they have gone through a couple stretch and folds. It's been about 5-ish hours. So we are gonna go ahead and shape this into a rectangle, and then I'm gonna spread the melted butter out on it. Spread our chai spice, which is a mix of cinnamon, clove, nutmeg, cardamom, allspice, and ginger. About double the cinnamon than everything else in there.
Okay, so we're gonna throw together a quick wood box to try to clean up around the wood stove. Cold. There we go.
We are having what I think is the last of our warm weather, and I'm going to go ahead and clean up some of these raised garden beds. I was hoping we had time to get some garlic into overwinter before the snow hits, but I just don't think it's going to be this year. So winter is coming here quick. I think within the next week or so we're gonna have our first snow. So we have been harvesting a lot. Getting to this new homestead, we lost a lot of our herbal apothecary, a lot of our stock we just gave away. We didn't take with us. One of our favorite things to harvest and to make, to keep throughout the winter is birch or birch bark. So we use birch bark for a lot of different things, most appreciably for a pain reliever. So birch bark and actually the leaves and the buds of birch, all willows, poplar, and wintergreen are rich in salicylates or salicytes. I think I'm saying that right. And that's also what Advil is derived from. So it's pain relieving, it's anti-inflammatory, and on the good side, on the good note, when you take something like birch, it does not have an appreciable blood thinning quality like your conventional Advil does, and it does not irritate the intestinal mucosa. So we will harvest the inner bark here, and then what I really like to do is infuse it in vinegar 2 weeks to a month and then strain it out. And then for pain relieving qualities, we'll take about a teaspoon of that vinegar to equal about 1 Advil. And it's good for washing wounds too. One good way to tell birch apart from aspen: birch is peely, aspen, you know, when you kind of rub it, it gets kind of flaky and powdery. Another really good thing that we do is we make a pain relief salve with birch bark. To mention the food this gives us too. So when it's time to tap trees up here in Alaska, you know, I'm originally from New England. In Alaska, we have birch. We tap the birch. In New England, you got all those maples. The birch, I found, you don't get as much sap, but it's really, really good. Stocking an herbal apothecary, one of the best pieces of advice I had an herbal teacher tell me was that instead of buying the newest, latest, greatest herb or sending away for them from across the world, what you can really do to help increase your own self-sufficiency is to find things that grow in abundance in your area. Things you can walk out your door and find. You know, find a handful of these herbs, whether they're trees, botanicals, or roots, whatever you have, and use them for absolutely everything you can need. And in that way, you become much more independent. Your home apothecary is never in danger of running out if you order something and they're out. Plus, it's just better. You know, fresh herbs that you know where they came from versus something that's been dried in a box for God knows how long. You can't really beat.
I'm going to get every dead tree out of here I can before the snow comes. It's a lot easier to get them out now than it is on snowshoes and snow machine in the winter. Even with the snow, you can still pick cranberries.